Forum After Party. I'm Ray Brewer, managing editor and your host for this brand new podcast concept where we break down all the incredible moments from this fall's Sun Youth Forum. The Sun, we've been hosting the Youth Forum for 70 years, ever since 1956, when our founder, Hank Greenspun, launched the program to give teenagers like you a voice in strengthening our Clark County community. It's a simple philosophy. You guys have brilliant ideas. You just need a platform to be heard. And today we're going to give you one of those platforms with our After Party podcast. So this year, the forum had 700 students from 40 schools. And these three exceptional leaders stood out. They were chosen as the representatives from their discussion groups to share their insights with our community. Let's start by introducing ourselves.
Hi, my name is Sophia Manuel. I'm a senior at Palo Verde High School.
Hi, I'm Regina Soto. I am a senior at Northwest Career and Tech.
Hi, my name is Emmely Ramos. I'm from Northeast Career and Tech Academy, and I'm a junior.
A junior. You're like our first junior
Yes.
today. Oh, wow. All right, Sophia, what was your big takeaway from the Youth Forum? What did you learn? How did it maybe exceed your expectations? Maybe something you didn't expect?
I think I went into the Sun Youth Forum obviously knowing that there would be like this diverse array of opinions. But I think what I didn't expect is how at the end of the day, like when we're going like beyond politics, we all had the same end goal. You know, we all just wanted to like come away and take away with making this world like a better place. And there were so many issues that like fundamentally, like there was people like on like both sides of the spectrum that were able to like come together with like core issues like gun control. At the end of the day, everyone agreed that like, you know, we don't want more violence in this nation and that it's important that we just keep the rights of our people.
So, Sophia, how do we get the leaders to think like that?
That's a good question.
That's that $25 million question. We got it. Yeah.
Honestly, I think that discussions like this one are important where there's no winner in this, you know, it's just an open forum where you can talk and discuss and really having just an area where everyone's in here to learn and everyone's here to grow and not because of some like secret reason, some secret like political or economic background.
Regina, what did you learn from the Youth Forum? You were driving home, you called your family. You're like, hey, guess what? Blah, blah, blah.
No, yeah, one of the biggest things that I definitely did not expect is just the variety of backgrounds. So there were so many people from a variety of different schools, and every one of them had like a different thing, like spin on what they were saying. We were all agreeing on a couple of things, but then there were so many different like viewpoints coming from it. Even on topics that I absolutely disagreed with, I had like there were some people with great points to make. I definitely did like feel opened up. So then I really did enjoy that. It was a great opportunity for me to see a variety of perspectives. My school is relatively small. It's only like 1,500 of us.
Yeah.
So then seeing other schools, other kids that have different walks of life, what they experience, it definitely did like open my eyes.
Did it change your mind?
Absolutely. On a bunch of the topics, I came in with like a notepad. I was like, I'm going to say this and I'm going to do awesome and everyone's going to believe me. And then I left thinking a totally different thing.
All right, so Emmely and I have a long history together. I was the moderator of her room, Law and Crime, so I got to see how awesome she was and how she formatted her opinions. But for me, one of the cool things of the Youth Forum is before you get there, you're given a list of kind of like topics and talking points that you need to research and gain information on. How did that research help you get ready to have a discussion?
Well, I am a speech and debate, so when I was given those topics, I did ask my advisor, who is in speech and debate, who gave us those questions. I was like, what evidence do I need? Do I need this? And I realized that not everything needs to be so evidence-based, but that research does help because my goal wasn't to go into this looking like, you know, I'll just say like, oh, I'm just here to talk, but rather to use that evidence to sort of defend myself and be like, no, I'm here today on a serious note. And with that evidence, it's kind of protecting my words.
So speech and debate is often like a little more, I don't want to say heated, but it's
a lot more structured. It's a lot more specific. It's just straightforward. And with this, that's what I didn't expect with this Youth Forum thing is how it was so open and that everyone was there to just express their opinions. So going from such an extreme to another was definitely mind-opening to me.
All right, Sophia, what was the name of your room?
We discussed teen topics.
Teen topics, very big.
Very broad, yes.
Yeah, very big umbrella. What was some of the things that led to the good discussions, and maybe what are some things that you could share with the community about solutions you guys might have come up with?
We discussed an array of topics. We discussed teen pregnancy, drug use, but a lot of the topics we discussed ended up coming back to the issue of social media, and especially because like for teenagers, like that's such a new concept, such a new tool. So the issue just kept coming back to like not only the use of social media because it can be a positive, but also making sure we have regulations in place and we also have ways to protect people, especially younger children and younger teenagers online. So I feel like that's definitely a solution that we talked a lot about, making sure that not only do the corporations have safe measures in place, but also making sure that we have just education around social media and how to utilize it from a young age.
Regina, what was the big takeaway from your room?
So my room was going over America and the 20 questions from there. A big takeaway that we ended up going like over a bunch of times, no matter the question, was the usage of AI technology. So then a question that I really clung to was the how do we out like reach access like how do I say it? How do we increase access to affordable healthcare for all Americans? So then I came with the perspective as a biomedical science student, and I specifically focused on 20% of our American population lives in rural communities. However, only 11% of our physicians practice in those areas. And a lot of the time, that's what really drives home that high cost of healthcare. People that need specialty services, people that need surgery, things like that, having to often travel hundreds of miles to reach that healthcare. So then we talked about telehealth and like online AI technology to help people get the help they need, as well as with the immigration process. We talked a lot about how long the immigration process is and how a lot of the time it discourages immigrants from entering our country. So we talked about a couple of things like, oh, well, for medical records and for vaccinations, we could maybe run it through an AI system. So a lot of the solutions that we were thinking of definitely did center around like how AI is becoming a larger aspect in daily life.
So you have great ideas. How do you get your ideas to the people that make decisions?
Let's see. So definitely one of the biggest things that we talked about, like for example, with the physician thing, we talked about how a lot of people are just generally discouraged to become physicians now because of the high cost of becoming a physician, the amount of schooling, 12 plus years of medical school, your clinical hours, things like that. So then we talked about loan forgiveness programs. We also talked about getting more outreach in like high school programs, so STEM programs. So teaching like teenagers, young children that you can do engineering, you can go into nursing, things like that. So then really just cementing that in like pursuing one of these careers in STEM really does make an impact, like specifically with medicine. As a medical student, I do understand that it makes a big impact what I'm looking to do in the future. So then just like reaching more young people and getting them to pursue STEM.
So Emily, lawn crime was our room.
Mhm.
What do you think was your best like take of the day? What do you think? Where you felt really passionate about this, and you were able to relay your thoughts to the rest of the room?
I would have to say the abortion and the immigration topics, mostly because, it related to me to a certain extent that, immigration hits home for me as many as it did to so many in our room, and abortion, as a woman. So, and especially with the status of America and the topics of abortion, immigration, and everything that's going on in the news right now, I was sort of going in, when I was studying these topics, I was sort of going in there kind of expecting like a cat fight almost, like to a loud disagreement against two different parties, two different opinions. And I just loved how you noticed that amongst teens, like Sophia had said, they just have this one common goal. And I think that was my biggest takeaway, that despite our political stances, we all just wanted what was best for us, and how we took those topics and we really related it to how it's going to affect our futures.
Okay, so I have this question that I really love. The world needs more of what? And so when I initially thought of the question, I thought the answers were going to be like, oh, the world needs more doctors,
Yeah.
or the world needs more whatever. It could be anything. So Sophia, what does the world need more of?
I think the world needs more listeners. I think that people are so quick to act, maybe because of a view that they've held for a long time that they strongly believe in, which obviously can be very good. But I feel like often we jump too far to conclusions, and that goes not only like politically, but in our everyday life. We jump to conclusions that my friend showed up late, she doesn't care about me, like we jump to conclusions on like other sides of the aisle that these groups are just like out to hurt us and out to target us. And I think at the end of the day, it's important to have those stances, but it's even more important to take that time and to just listen to what other people are saying, because I feel like that's the best way that you create change and you create that growth.
Regina, the world needs more.
The world needs more speakers. Definitely. When I was going over that I was going to do the youth forum with a couple of my friends, like my classmates, a lot of them were really interested by the questions that I showed them. However, when I asked them like, "Oh, you should come. It's going to be awesome." They were like, "Oh, I don't know. I'm nervous. I've never done speech and debate before. What if everyone there is so much better than I am?" And I was like, just get out there. So definitely with like being able to speak out. So if you care about something, you should be able to go out, speak about it, and make that change. Because a lot of the time, especially with young people, a lot of us do have a lot of strong opinions. We believe that this should change or that this needs to happen. But a lot of the time we don't have that outlet to go like where. And a lot of the time you do just have to make that outlet yourself. You make your own path and then just speak it out into the world.
And lastly, Emmely, the world needs more.
I believe the world needs more outsiders in a sense, because I believe that everyone is just put into this certain group, whether it's amongst teens, adults, high schoolers. We're stuck in this sort of bubble where we're fed all this information to us, and we're thinking, oh, okay, and we're programmed to think, oh, it's okay. Well, people are telling me this, so I'm just gonna go along with it and roll with it. So I believe the more people we have go outside their comfort zone, go outside the bubble, and speak up more, saying, hey, no, I'm gonna go totally against this. And I think this Sun Youth Forum thing, I saw a lot of that in our room when a bunch of the teens were speaking out, that these kids were sort of these outsiders that didn't fall into their category or their bubble. They spoke on issues they were passionate about.
All right, Sun Youth Forum After Party podcast. We've got 3 great young leaders. Obviously, you guys are going to have great careers. I'm curious, what are your career ambitions? Where do you want to go to college? I know you're still a junior, so you're thinking about it. But we'll start with you. What do you want to? What kind of career are you interested in?
I've been planning my future since like 4th grade,
Okay.
so I've been set. I do want to be a lawyer. I'm not sure what field I would go into. I'm more towards maybe divorce, family custody, or even immigration. I do want to go to UNLV, maybe CSN. I heard it was a great approach. CSN, then go to UNLV. My backup is UNR, and I do want to have a lot. I do want to get my master's to really get up there, and yeah, I do. And becoming a lawyer, I think, will create great changes.
Regina?
Yeah, so I'm interested in going to University of Colorado Springs, specifically for their public health program. I'm very passionate about medicine. I've been told like, oh, you're going to be a doctor since I was like 4.
Yeah.
And then as I've grown with that, I'm like, yeah, what if I was a doctor? But then as I've grown with like my experiences, I found out what I'm passionate about. Public health definitely is the route that I want to go. I also want to major in political science, so maybe like a double major type of thing.
Okay. All righty. Sophia?
Like Emmely, I also do want to be a lawyer. I've been interested in law since I can remember, and I think advocacy is so important, especially nowadays. I would love to go more into copyright law. I'm also not only interested in advocacy, but I'm also very interested in the arts and protecting the creations and the works that people do. I think is such an important field and so important to be doing. And I'd love to go to college, maybe in DC, to go into the center of the government and to really make a change there.
All right. Well, Sun Youth Forum After Party. This is our first time we've done this. So, podcasting is real cool. And I know this has to be your favorite podcast. Forget about all the other ones. I'm looking forward to seeing you guys at our dinner too on the 12th.
Yeah.
All righty. Thank you guys.